Vietnam and ASEAN trade deficit tops $2.9 billion in the first 8 months of 2012. FDI in supporting industries, a solution to technical problems. And Ministry earmarks $1.7 million for trade promotion. Hello, you're watching Daily Biz for an update on the business scene here in Vietnam. I'm Duc Trung from Hanoi with the latest news update. We'll now begin with the stock exchange. Shares on both national stock exchanges declined this morning, following a short rise on Friday. On the Ho Chi Minh City Stock Exchange, the VN Index finished this morning at 388.88 points, down 8.63 points on Friday's close. Trading improved over the previous session, reaching almost 48.8 million shares, worth 833.06 billion Vietnamese dong. The VN30, tracking the top 30 shares by market capitalization and liquidity, was also down 10.35 points to 455.59 points. On the Hanoi Stock Exchange, the HNX index lost 2.32 points to end at 58.07 points, on a total turnover of more than 270.14 billion Vietnamese dong. The Upcom Index, the measure of 131 unlisted public companies, slightly declined by 0.21 points to close at 38.73 points. And now, as usual, let's take a look at the top 5 gainers and losers of today. Down 43.14% from a year earlier, according to the General Statistics Office. The country earned $10.8 billion from exports to the ASEAN, up 22.8% year-on-year, and spent $13.7 billion on imports, rising 1.8% year-on-year, taking two-way trade to $24.5 billion in the period between January and August. ASEAN was Vietnam's second biggest trading partner in the period after China. Vietnam's key exports to the bloc between January and August were crude oil, mobile phones and accessories, computers, electronics and spare parts, while its main imports were petroleum products, computers, electronics and spare parts and machinery. The Ministry of Finance, or MOF, has inspected Haiphong Port and Lạng Sơn and Quảng Ninh border gates to probe the temporary import of goods for later re-export.
Following its inspection, the Ministry of Finance has proposed a crackdown on lax control over imported goods that has been allowed to enter the domestic market rather than being shifted on for export. Industrial waste, unsafe frozen products and petroleum have been imported en masse recently as temporary imports, and these goods have found their way on the domestic market, bringing fat profits for the importers. Deputy Minister of Finance Do Hoàng Anh Tuấn said that the Ministry of Finance officials, after inspecting 3 key localities, have discovered 1,010 consignments, which should have been re-exported 180 days ago. Under the current laws, businesses are only required to show the contracts on temporary imports without having to show evidence of contracts to export the goods further.
At least 20% of annual tax audit activities during the 2012 to 2015 period would be devoted to transfer pricing, according to a recent survey released by Ernst & Young Vietnam in Ho Chi Minh City.
The 2012 Global Transfer Pricing Tax Authority survey says such activity would focus on four main areas: labor-intensive industries, the car and pharmaceutical industries, and export processing enterprises in garment, textiles, and footwear industries. All companies in Vietnam are likely to be subjected to be on examination list. Vietnamese tax authorities will also focus on companies under suspicion of abusing transfer pricing or have significant tax dues, with the list set to include companies that have not been audited for multiple years and were once entitled to tax incentives. Out of 48 countries and territories surveyed, Ernst & Young found that Vietnam was the only one that had no advanced pricing agreement. In 2011, auditors found that 900 companies had abused transfer pricing, the survey report said.
In the first 8 months of this year, Mekong Delta provinces attracted 57 foreign direct investment projects with registered capital of $320 million. Long An province alone has attracted 30 projects, according to the Department of Planning and Investment. Bạc Liêu and Đồng Tháp are the only two provinces lacking new FDI projects. 15 ongoing projects have seen their capital increase by $51 million. FDI capital poured into the Mekong Delta region is generally lower than other areas in the country. Supporting industries play a key role in any developing economy. Though Vietnam's supporting industries still face many technical issues that can be overcome by increasing foreign investment.
What I have with me here is a body caliper, a component for motorbikes brake. This is a product of supporting industries, the industries that produce materials and components for other assembling industries.
Vietnam Precision Mechanical Service and Trading Company, or VPMS, produces molds, cordons, fixtures, and zigs to be built into automobiles and machines. 95% of its output is exported to Japan. However, not many Vietnamese firms in supporting industries have export deals.
Compared with foreign competitors, it is harder for Vietnamese firms to meet necessary technical standards because we got access to advanced technology much later than others.
Therefore, the technological spillover effect from foreign companies is crucial to Vietnam's supporting industries. Foreign companies coming to Vietnam normally start from the very foundation already laid by domestic firms. Through partnerships with foreign companies, Vietnamese firms would have access to advanced technology. Among foreign investors in Vietnam's supporting industry, Japan ranks first with total investment of more than $24 billion as of early 2012. And this number will rise quickly as Japanese interest is growing.
Most of the Japanese companies are trying to make a greenfield investment, own 100% the company. But in some cases, Japanese companies are looking for partner Vietnamese companies. So we are going to help by matchmaking Japanese companies and the Vietnamese companies. Companies who would like to buy parts and the components. We ask Vietnamese companies, please make parts, please make this component. Japanese company help advice to Vietnamese companies. By this dialogue and action between Japanese companies and Vietnamese companies, the quality of Vietnamese parts and components become better. On the other hand, in Vietnam, you have still some regulation, restriction to open this market.
Many commenters have said that our policies on supporting industries are not effective. Yet, this was due to limited resources, as well as Vietnam's commitment to fair competition. Incentives can be offered to the whole industry, but only certain projects can be considered and prioritized, depending on importance and contribution to the whole economy. Several FDI projects have received the green light stage, such as Intel and Samsung.
In Vietnam, all foreign invested supporting industry companies are large enterprises with more than 300 employees, but only account for 16.2% of the total 346 supporting industry firms. Ling He, reporting for VTV International.
Continuing our news bulletin, let's check the updated foreign exchange rates. Malaysian businesses had invested 5.8 billion US dollars in 169 projects in Ho Chi Minh City by June, becoming the largest foreign investor in Vietnam's southern economic hub. The figures were recently released by Vice Chairman of the Ho Chi Minh City People's Committee Hứa Ngọc Thuận. Thuận said that Malaysia has always been an important economic partner of Ho Chi Minh City, and the city welcomed business delegations from Malaysia looking for investment opportunities. Thuận emphasized that education and tourism would be potential areas for cooperation in the coming time. Two-way trade between Vietnam and Malaysia exceeded 6.5 billion US dollars in 2011. The Ministry of Industry and Trade, Vũ Thúy Hoàng, has approved 44 projects in the second phase of the National Trade Promotion Program, which will run until the end of this year.
The program, which aims to step up export and domestic trade promotion activities, especially in rural, mountainous, border and island areas, is estimated to cost $1.7 million. With the second phase, the National Trade Promotion Program 2012 will include 90 projects costing $3.78 million. According to the Ministry of Industry and Trade's Vietnam Trade Promotion Agency, the projects will cover a range of promotional activities, including domestic trade exhibitions, international conferences on export commodities, and capacity building for trade promotion officials. It aims to popularize the potentials and the strengths of various regions and localities.
And that piece of news also wraps up our Daily Biz for today. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you more next time.